Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the Pizza Hut demo disc. So sorry this took me absolutely forever to get out to you guys. Originally there was part 2 uploaded, but for some reason my video editing software decided only process 5 minutes, and then my stupid brain was like, oh, that's done, and then it actually was supposed to be like 20 minutes or whatever. But anyway, yeah, so in the first part we took a look at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and then we took a look at Ape Escape, both of them having differences solely on their own. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater having some differences, but the Ape Escape being the main event for that first part. In this part we're going to be taking a look at Crash Team Racing and Coolboarders 4. The main interest for this video though will definitely be Crash Team Racing, with Coolboarders 4 having a lot of differences too, but Crash Team Racing being that franchise that everyone loves, right? You know, everyone loves Crash. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this part 2, and I hope you guys stick about to see the differences and so on. Anyway guys, thank you very much for joining in, and I'll see you guys in the gameplay. Hey guys, so you've just seen the intros to today. Let's get into Crash Team Racing and Coolboarders 4. So, Crash Team Racing, especially with this build, is a lot different compared to the final. It's, like I said, the earliest build that you can get in terms of any Crash Team Racing build that is currently available from what I know so far on this current date. So we're going to be taking a look at the differences. I'll try and, explain as many as I can whilst I'm doing this, because this isn't going to be as scripted as it was in the first video. So, to start off, we are going to see that the main menu is different. There is no animated flag. Crash isn't animated with his trophy. Obviously, we don't have any menu with like arcade or versus or whatever. It's just straight into the game. Nothing, amazing. The startup music is different. The finishing line is also different as well. We see that the starting lights are also very much different as well. The sounds that you get for when you hit an item box, when it's making the sound to give you an item, is also different too. If you notice on the left hand side of the screen, we see the profiles for the different races that are currently in the game, and as you can see that they are different compared to the final cut as well, so which is also cool. In terms of the track itself, there really isn't that many differences. I think I remember spotting one difference, but it isn't really that major to really go on about it. I think it's the shortcut that you take, which is a little bit different. So yes, there are some interesting differences on this build. As you can see, the radar is a bit different. So is the speedometer, I do believe, as well. Another thing as well is that when you're racing, you don't hear any one-liners from the other opponents either, so which is also interesting to see. Obviously they haven't implemented those at this time. Now in terms of items when it comes to this build as well, I believe there's only one item that I can see that is different, and that is not in the game, and that is the shield. The shield is not present in this game at the time, though I do know one item that was removed from this game in the middle of its development process was the spring. On the comment floor there is a little article discussing about the spring. It probably was a item that would probably make you jump higher, probably get to like shortcuts and whatever have you. It's a very, very cool build. I really do like enjoying playing it. It's just cool to see, Crash Racing in a very different state. I would have loved to have seen what the builds prior to this would have been like, especially like the alpha build or just going into beta build or whatever. I feel that would have been interesting. The finishing sequence is also different as well. There's no music, there's no confetti, there's no cheering from the, drivers or whatever. There's no leaderboard, so that's also very different too. We're gonna play this again just to, experience it again. Other things to point out is that there's no different pitches when it comes to the engines either of the carts, which is also very, very weird. I'm not used to that. So there is no shield in this game. It doesn't appear on the random selection for the items, which is very weird. So that must have been obviously given into the game later on in development. I don't know at what stage, but it's just interesting to have a kind of like a kart game about its you know, shield. I guess the I forgot, you know, I'm gonna absolutely get ragged on by a bunch of Crash fans here, but obviously when it comes to the totem mask, obviously he's probably the only thing that gives you a shield in terms of anything in this game for protection against you know, in terms of any like projectiles like missiles or whatever. So yeah, it's honestly a very, very interesting build. I personally really enjoyed playing this. Like I said before, I'd love to experience what any other prior build would have been like. But either way, very interesting build to say the least. I do know we did come across a Crash demo just like this in one of our kiosk demos a while back, which was very cool to see. I thought this was the only, you know, demo disc to have this build, but no, there is obviously other demos of this build out there, so that's cool to see that there are obviously other, you know, demo discs with this build. But yeah, so like I said before, there isn't any other, you know, previous builds. This is the earliest build that you can get in terms of the Crash Team Racing. There is an E3 build that I do have, which I will be covering later on in the future, but this is Crash Team Racing for the Pizza Hut PlayStation demo disc. So, here we go, Coolboarders 4. Now, you're going to notice quite a few differences when it comes to this Coolboarders 4 build. One of the main differences is that the HUD is different, the music is different, and also just quite a few things are different in general, so let's give it a go. One thing you'll notice is when you're in front of opponents, the names of the opponents don't appear below you on the screen. The HUD is very different too. Just everything about the HUD is just different. As you can hear, the music is also a lot more different too. I believe this is just placeholder music because it is just a really small loop compared to its final counterpart. The trees, especially the trees with snow on them, are different too. Now, in terms of the track being different, I am not quite sure. This is the reason why I have the final cut on the top right hand corner just to show you the difference, to see if you guys can spot anything. Obviously it would be nice to see if you guys can spot anything in terms of differences. Though I'd like to know if this music track is from like a sample volume, like, you know, one of those like sample libraries you could buy back in the day, or if it's just a random piece of music they produced just for this demo entirely. But we can definitely tell that it is so much different compared to the final build. What I do really, I think one of the best things, minuscule things I love about games, especially, is when they change up the HUD and the GUI. I think that's something that really intrigues me more than anything. I think just seeing the, you know, the HUD being different compared to the retail is just, it's something about it. It's just so cool. Like how they can change the HUD so often in a development build. Like, what made them go, ah, right, this HUD is not good enough, let's make it different? Because I will be honest, like, this HUD, it's actually probably a lot worse than the first Coolboarders game, and we recently took a look at the first Coolboarders game on a registration demo, which I'll put in the top right hand corner with a title card. You can check that out. We checked out quite a few different demos on that disc, and one of the ones with, which is probably the most earliest builds, was probably the Coolboarders game. You know, we had a placeholder commentator, which is cool. In this game, we don't have a commentator who's constantly fucking berating us for not doing enough tricks or whatever. But also, just no annoying commentator in general, which is cool. I'm glad they got rid of that later on down the line in their franchise. But also, we've taken a look at 989 Studios before. 989 Studios, I think, was also part of the development team for the unreleased Jet Moto 2124 game that we took a look at a while back. So that was interesting to see that 989 Studios has been a huge part of the PlayStation 1's, you know, legacy of games and whatever. It's just, it's cool to see such a, you know, big studio just making all these games. Obviously, I think they're now Sony PlayStation North, I think. PlayStation Sony North, something like that. But anyway. That is Coolboarders 4 and Crash Team Racing for the Pizza Hut demo disc. Obviously, we will be taking a look at Final Fantasy VIII on the final part of this disc, and then we'll be moving on to the second disc that Pizza Hut released alongside PlayStation with a collaboration for the big cash prize that they had. So yeah, Final Fantasy VIII will be up next, and we'll be taking a look at that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it's a lot less scripted than what it was in the last part, but I thought let's just get straight into it and let's just see how it goes. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the final part for disc 1 of the PlayStation Pizza Hut demo disc. Thank you very much.